GTA 6. Why isn't it out? Why is this video game taking so long? Well, as an ex-video game person, I can tell you. Hi, this is the Winnie the Pooh Conspiracy Room. GTA 6, is it coming out? I don't know. It was supposed to, but it's not. Not for another year. GTA 5 is a piece of art. And also, GTA 5 was very relevant to today. Jeffrey Epstein is not explicitly depicted as a character in Grand Theft Auto 5, but there have been speculation and discussions amongst fans about possible allusions to him. Some players point to Persio Island, which bears some resemblance to Epstein's infamous private island, but this is not confirmed by the game's creators. By the way, is anything in GTA 5 supposed to be real? Is it all based on things? Others speculate that the character David Weston, a wealthy and powerful billionaire in the game, might have some loose, indirect resemblance to Epstein. Just to give you an idea, let's play just a little bit here of Devin Weston. So we're just gonna skip ahead a little bit to 8 minutes in. Notice all the characters are very suspicious of David.
You know, if this beauty was a woman, I'd have to break my 20 and under rule.
Man, I'll just stick to driving, all right?
His line there was, I'm going to have to break my 20 and under rule. That's from Devin Weston. I also want to point out that his plane is like FU, like flights and stuff. And then he's got his own private island. Now, if you've played GTA 5, you'll realize there's also somebody there who is really like Mark Zuckerberg as well. And there's a lot of allusions. And also the game came out in 2013. And I just want you to think for a second, okay? This next iteration, if we have the same writers involved in it, the same people who in 2013 were talking about Jeffrey Epstein and putting him as a villain in their game, what are they going to have to talk about? They're going to have to talk about Bitcoin. They're going to have to talk about that sort of thing. How are they going to avoid talking about Jeffrey Epstein, right? How are they going to avoid advancing this plot? And if the people who are writing the number 5 were involved in number 6, I think that they would have even more information. Maybe they would want to push these kind of plots. Maybe they would want to expose these kind of things. But they've spent like $1 billion. They spent $2 billion actually, more than the building this game, right? And so they have a lot of money people involved in Rockstar Games. And there's probably a lot of people who would be really uncomfortable of a video game like that would be critical of various political figures or bringing up very serious and sensitive topics, right? Video game companies are like very penetratable boardrooms. What I mean by that is it's pretty easy if, let's say, you're like had a lot of money and you're like, I want to influence this video game. It's pretty easy to get someone involved and like investor and take it over and just influence it and just be like, I don't want this to be that or I want that to be that. So there's just a lot of high level, real life political reasons to suspect, I don't know, there's all conspiracy theories, to suspect that GTA 6 is being pushed back because the creators are trying to wait for a political climate change, right? And so they're probably saying next year. I wouldn't be surprised if they said a year after that. I wouldn't be surprised if they just keep waiting for the political climate to change in the United States before they release their game. Or they're remaking it to be somehow less politically divisive. Because you got to imagine 2013... a lot of the things and themes that are in GTA 5 at that time weren't considered politically divisive and weren't well known. But now it's like, I mean, they're going to have a hard time if they're talking anywhere in the United States doing anything regarding anything. Like, what else? Like, is ICE going to be in GTA 6? You know what I mean? Like, there could be a lot of aspects and political things that would be involved, and I'm sure that their investors would be extremely unhappy, and people who... Game reviewers kind of come from both political spectrums, right? And they tend to be very passionate about whatever their political views are. So they probably have some internal people who are on the left, internal people on the right, and they're probably clashing hard, right? So I think that GTA 6, the fact it hasn't been launched, probably a really complicated story, but I guarantee you this political stuff is involved. I guarantee you it's an element. It would almost be impossible for them to not be somewhat influenced by current political leanings and stories in the news to that. And I don't think they would ever officially come out and say that the reason is why. And I know that because of they had early leaks that have happened where the game is, you know, where it's really cost them hundreds of millions of dollars. So I'm sure that there's many reasons why they try and keep it under wraps as to why it isn't being launched, but it's almost a perfect formula of like politics being informed. Okay, that's the end of GTA 6 not coming out until politics calms down.